Hello, my name is Florian. I'm a solution consultant at SurePay, and in that role, I try to help clients understand the requirements of the VoP and the IPR regulation. And today, I'm going to show you the portal that we have, which mimics the behavior of the VoP in a live environment, where you can do both single checks but also checking batch files. All right, so this is what we call the customer portal. Right now, it's mainly used by our corporate clients in the Netherlands to check IBAN and names before they are onboarding them to one of the services. But it's also typically how an online banking environment looks like, right? So it's as easy as it gets. You have to fill out an IBAN and a name, and then you can hit check to see whether the name actually belongs to the IBAN. I know that, of course, in your own banking environment, there might be some additional fields that you will not see on the screen here, but in essence, it's just a VoP check, similar as to when you have it built it in your own environment. It is test data, so everything that you will see on the screen are not real IBANs and also not real people. So in that case, don't worry, we can show this on the screen, and I'm just gonna copy paste in this case an IBAN. This one belongs to Anna Johnson. So if I hit check, you can see that on the right hand side, this is a match. This is the most common outcome of the verification of Payee being the match. So the name does belong to the IBAN. And why I always show this is that you can also get some inspiration as to how you should reflect it in your own banking screen. So typically, you would see a check mark and a green color. So the payer knows that they can continue with the payment. Of course, this name includes both a first name and a last name, and we allow for some more flexibility here. So also just a last name, for example, should result in a match. It depends on how we get the data from the client. So the algorithm is fueled by the data from the PSP. So we have separate data. So there's data field for the first name, there's a data field for the last name, and we can also you can also provide us with your initials, which allows us to have a more flexible algorithm, so to say. So, for example, this person has two initials. She's called Anna Emily. This should also classify as a match. What is then a close match? So I am going to remove the last character of the last name, and you can see that in this case, this is a close match because it's only one typo. And then you can also see a name suggestion on the screen. Did you mean Johnson? In this case, I can click on it and then it will be checked again. But this is where the devil is in the details, because it's relatively easy to create an algorithm that says if something is a match or no match, because if it's an exact match, it's of course easy to give the green light. And then if it's just one minor difference, you can say, well, it's a no match. But that means that the no match percentage will be very high. So that is why the close match is super important. And that's where the SurePay experience comes into play. One thing that is very important to note with the close match is that we will never give back more information than the payer knows itself. So in this case, the payer only knows the last name. And just like the example that I just showed you, you won't see any of the first names back in the name suggestion because we will be disclosing data that the payer does not know at that time. Of course, if I fill out the initials, you would also see that the name suggestion now includes the initials and corrects the last part of the name. And I can assure you this is where the difficulty is in the algorithm, to make sure that the algorithm supports the payment behavior, but also does not impact payments actually being done to the beneficiary. So you can imagine that if you have a lot of no matches, then the people will not be paid anymore. And I can assure you, in that case, people will call out for your support, asking why they are not receiving the payments that they are expecting. This example is, of course, showing a match and a close match. So let me just conclude by filling out a completely different name. Sophia Clark. Of course, this should be a no match, and then you will also not see a name suggestion because that's not allowed. In this case, it was this account was belonging to a natural person, so an actual person, but we can also match against business accounts. And for that, I'm going to use a different IBAN belonging to SurePay, which I hope by now you all know. So again, this is a fictive IBAN, so it's not the actual IBAN of SurePay. But when you hit check, this is the name that we assign to this IBAN. And you can see that I filled out the full legal name together with the legal entity. But we know that a lot of people are too lazy when they're filling out the payment. They will probably not fill out the legal entity. But we have a matching logic that can detect these legal entities, and it's still a match. It will be quite annoying if you get constantly corrected for this type of inputs. We also know that a lot of businesses have trading names or official commercial names, as they are also known. In this case, SurePay also has the official trading name of SurePay Technologies. I can fill it out, and also we are able to give a match based on this trading name. We would either need to receive these trading names directly from the bank, but we know that a lot of banks do not register these official trading names. So in this case, we have a connection with the Chamber of Commerce in the Netherlands, where all the official trading names are registered, and we can retrieve the data to make sure that we also can match against these trading names. It's super important to include these because we know, based on the data that we see for the last 7 to 8 years, that almost 40% of the payments towards a business account are targeted at a trading name. So imagine you do not have this data available, you would see a big spike in the no-match rate, and then would also with the consequence that people are not paying towards these accounts anymore. So we do have ample experience with matching against trading names, and we also will definitely encourage you and see whether we can retrieve the trading names directly from you or from a similar database as a chamber. So now we have shown the single check, but if you look at the top side of the screen, you can also see that we have a file check solution. So I would like to go there now. Essentially what this does is that clients can drag and drop an Excel file with multiple VoP checks in the same file and then check them all at once. You can compare this to checking a payment batch with multiple payments. And then you can, before initiating the payment, you can actually check whether all the data that you have in that file is correct. So I created a small example. So I'm going to upload this file. And you can see at the left side that it's currently processing. And then it will generate a results file. So this is also, it basically mimics what the flow could look like in your banking environment as well. So we can click on download the result. It shows at the right top of the screen, and I already have it open. I have essentially 4 requests in the same file. You can see the same IBANs that I just used for the other demo, and this is the input that you in the file, and then this is the matching result. So the first one is a match, the second one is no match, the third one is a match again, and the last one is also a no match. Might be a little bit different for the VoP API in the future, but essentially it's going to do the same thing. So you can drag and drop a file, and then you can check all the different VoP checks at once, and then you can make adjustments to your payment file before initiating the payment. So for example, you know now that Sophia Clark is not the right name belonging to that account. So typically you would remove this payment from the payment batch because it would not end up at the right person that you think it should. Right now there's only 4 lines in the file, but you could see that in this screen we allow up to 10,000 rows. But for the payment batches, we also know that it can range up to 1 million payments within the same file. So this is currently a limit that we have to our corporate client base. But for VoP, the limit is going to be much higher because we know that we need to be able to support also those bigger file sizes. Also, what you can see on the right-hand side is all the previously checked files. So you will have a log of everything that you have checked via the portal as well. This would also show up in the audit dashboard. So all the checks that you're doing, either via the API or via the portal, will end up in a dashboard visible to you. So you can control all the incoming and outgoing traffic for VoP checks. All right, that's what I wanted to show you today. I know that it was a little bit short. I can demo for ages. So if you have any more questions about the portal or VoP in general, feel free to reach out and then we make sure to answer all your questions.